the final thing that we have to do is to make sure that we can run our microservices with Docker. So let's actually make sure that we can basically test things with Docker as well, because usually it's good for us to test things locally. And also, if you have a new joiner in your team, then they can just run a set of containers and have the entire application stack working without no effort. So inside of clients resources, we need to create the clients-docker profile. So let's just say clients-docker. And this will actually be the exact same information in here, but we have to specify the ports. So this will be 8080, this will be 8081, and this will be 8082. Now, if we were using port 80, then we wouldn't need to specify the ports. But with Kubernetes, we are using this service, which is listening on port 80. So that's why. So again, in here, let's just make sure that we have a separate profile, just to make sure that things are consistent across our project. Now let's open up the docker compose.yaml. And before, remember, we did comment out a few things. So Eureka server, we don't need it anymore. API gateway, we also don't need it anymore. And then just uncomment customer, fraud, as well as notification, just like that. And also, let's just remove the dependency in here. So we no longer depend on the Eureka server, but we still have to depend on these three services. The same here, and the same with customer. And to be honest, this is it. Now let's test this out. Open up the terminal. Let's build a new image with Maven Clean package. And there we go. So we have new images. Now we can pull those images. So here, clear this, Docker compose pull. And you can see that it's just pulling so notification. Some layers already exist, so this should be really quick. There we go, finish. So here, say Docker compose up -d. So you can see that Postgres, RabbitMQ, Zipkin, pgadmin already running, and we just have to start these three. So just give it a second, and there we go. Now let's open up Postman, and within Postman, I'm going to send a post request, and before we sent to our API gateway, but now we can send it to customer directly, which is on 8080. And it's absolutely fine for us to send a request to customer during our local development, because I think I've mentioned this before, but as we move through environments, so for example, dev environment, test, prod, then we won't be able to test this directly, provided that we go through an API gateway or a load balancer. But for testing purposes, it's fine. So let's just send the request. And bingo, have a look. We have a 200 status code. Now, obviously, you can go and check Zipkin, the database, and all that stuff. But I can guarantee you that we now also managed to have Docker local testing up and running. Now, within my terminal, let me basically say Docker compose and then down. So I want to get rid of everything. And if you want to basically get things up and running again, you can just say Docker compose and then up -d, and off you go. So this is it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, let's move on to the next section, because now we are ready to deploy our microservices to Kubernetes. This is all for now. Catch me on the next one.